We've been telling a lot of people to actually use AI to help them create the best CVs they could ever find. But if you open ChatGPT and paste your CV and type, "make my resume better," you might get something that sounds really impressive. And that is exactly where the problem starts, because impressive language is not necessarily convincing evidence. As a recruiter, I don't need ChatGPT to make you sound like the CEO of everything you've ever touched in your life. We just need to understand three main things that you should be focusing on. What have you done? What impact did you have? Why is this role relevant to you? Today, I'm going to show you a better way to use ChatGPT Work to build a complete resume, review it from a recruiter perspective, tailor to a vacancy, and finish with both editable Word as well as a clean PDF for you to use. Top of the morning, everyone. My name is Tshidi and I'm back with another video. The principle I want you to remember throughout this process is very simple. Do not ask ChatGPT to write your resume first. Ask it to understand your career. Now, ChatGPT recently released ChatGPT Work. We've got ChatGPT Codex as well as ChatGPT Work. ChatGPT Work is useful here because this is not really one writing task that you actually can just give to an AI. It is a project. You have a career history, you have qualifications, you have plenty of very old CVs that you've been making over the years. You have a job description or job descriptions that you've also used. You have achievements that you've actually forgotten to include in your old resume. And eventually, you want multiple versions of the same document to be in one beautiful document. So start in ChatGPT Work and give the project a clear outcome. And this is where you start. Your instructions can be something like this. Help me build a complete master resume based only on information I provide. Do not invent employers. Do not invent responsibilities, dates, qualifications, achievements, matrix, or skills. Flag missing information and ask for evidence where needed. The resume must be easy for the recruiter to scan, suitable for ATS's processing, and editable in Word and clean when exported to PDF. That last part really matters. You're establishing the rules before the writing even begins. Now, the next thing that you then do is you upload your evidence, right? Your existing resume or CVs that you might have actually compiled over the years. Your LinkedIn profile information if you've already exported it. If you haven't, go to your LinkedIn, try and export your LinkedIn profile. That's already there. A job description of roles that you've also done in the past, or any qualifications and certifications that you might have had. Performance reviews and achievements that you've also allowed to actually use at any given time, and any notes containing measurable outcomes from your work that you've already got. So that means before you start this, guys, please go and collect all those things and make sure that they're ready in one folder. Then ask ChatGPT Work for the following. Extract my career information into an evidence bank. Separate employers, job titles, dates, responsibilities, achievements, tools, technical skills, leadership experience, education, and certifications. Identify anything unclear or contradictory. Do not write the resume yet. This is one of the most important steps that you should follow, because imagine a candidate writes, "responsible for customer onboarding." That tells me what your job involved. But perhaps your evidence shows that you redesigned the onboarding process, trained 6 colleagues, and reduced the average processing time. Now we're moving from responsibility to impact. But notice something very important in this discussion. We did not tell ChatGPT Work to invent the impact. We gave it the evidence that we already have. That distinction protect your credibility in anything that you're actually building. The next thing that you also want to do is to analyze the job before you tailor the resume. Now bring in the vacancy that you might be looking at, and don't immediately say add all the keywords. Instead, ask ChatGPT Work to analyze the job description from 3 main perspectives. And you can ask the following. Analyze this vacancy, create 3 categories: requirements I clearly meet, requirements where evidence is partial, and requirements for which I have provided no evidence. Do not assume experience I have not demonstrated. This is where AI becomes much more useful, because keyword matching without judgment can actually create quite a lot of gibberish. If the vacancy mentions SAP 7 times and you have never used SAP, putting SAP 7 times into your resume does not make you qualified. It makes your resume inaccurate. But if the vacancy repeatedly asks for stakeholder management and your evidence shows that you've worked with finance, technology, legal, external vendors, ChatGPT Work can help you surface evidence that was already there in your resume. That is the difference between optimization and manipulation. Now that you've done all that stuff, Try and build your master resume. Only now would I actually ask ChatGPT to build a resume. And I recommend having a master resume first. This is the complete version containing your relevant career evidence. It is not necessarily the document you send for every application. Think of it as your career database in resume form. Ask ChatGPT Work to create sections such as professional headline, professional summary, core skills, professional experience, education, certifications, languages where relevant, especially in Switzerland or any other location that requires languages, and additional sections appropriate to your profession. Then give it one more instruction. Prioritize evidence and outcomes over adjectives. Use concise bullet points. Where an achievement would benefit from a number, but no number has been provided, insert a note asking me for metric instead of inventing one. That prompt alone can save you from one of the most obvious AI resume problems. For example, you would have resumes that says increased efficiency by 35%. Because where did the 35% come from? If you don't know, it does not belong on your resume. Now we get to the step that most people tend to skip. Do not ask, is this a good resume? Is this the best resume for the job that I want to apply? That question is too vague for ChatGPT Work. Give ChatGPT Work a role. Say something like, review this resume as a recruiter screening candidates for an attached vacancy. Then you attach that particular vacancy. Then ask it to assess the following: the relevance, the evidence that I've actually provided, any clarity, missing requirements, repetition, weak bullet points, unsupported claims, and the information that deserves greater prominence in your resume. Then give it this instruction: do not rewrite anything yet. Show me the problems first. I love that step because it actually separates diagnosis from rewriting. You can decide whether you agree with the criticism that ChatGPT Work has provided you. Because remember, ChatGPT Work is assisting your judgment. It is not replacing it at all. And as a recruiter, I would add something like this. You need to be able to defend every line of that document in a job interview. If ChatGPT Work has written something and you would struggle to explain what it means, then you have to change it. Before creating the final files, use what I call the 5-step check. Check number 1, the truth. Can I prove or explain everything that I've written here? Check number 2, relevance. That's the most important information match the role I am targeting. Check number 3, evidence. Have I demonstrated result rather than simply describing duties? Check number 4 is readability. Can a recruiter understand my profile quickly? The 7 seconds rule, remember the one I spoke about? And then check number 5, compatibility. Is the structure straightforward enough to work across recruitment systems and file formats? If the resume fails one of these checks, fix it before you actually worry about whether it actually looks beautiful. Create the Word and the PDF version. Now ask ChatGPT to work to create or refine the finished document. OpenAI's current work guidance specifically recommends telling it the output format you actually need and reviewing the results before you're relying fully on it. For an editable version, ask for Word compatible document with simply professional formatting. Avoid making the resume dependent on decorative text boxes, complicated columns, or graphics just because they look amazing. Then check the following. Are the dates aligned? Are the headlines consistent with what I was doing? Are the bullet points displaying correctly? Has anything moved onto a strange page that doesn't make sense? Are the page breaks there? Is your contact information readable? And if your resume is 2 pages, did one lonely bullet point accidentally wander into page number 3? Once your editable version looks correct, create the PDF version and inspect that too. Why keep both? Because employers and application systems do not all request the same format. So my rule is very simple. Maintain both. Submit what the employer actually requests. The Word document is your editable working version. The PDF gives you a stable presentation version where applicable. And please open the PDF before uploading it. Do not discover after submitting that your second page has disappeared in your PDF. If you remember one thing from this video, remember this. ChatGPT Work should not manufacture your resume. It should help you organize, challenge, and communicate your real career evidence. That workflow is very simple. Evidence, target, build, audit, and export. Analyze the job target, build your master resume, create the evidence bank, analyze the job target, build your master resume that you're going to at least have as the main resume, audit it like a recruiter to make sure that people can understand what they're reading, then maintain both Word and PDF versions. Your immediate action after this video is not to ask ChatGPT Work to write me a resume. It is to open ChatGPT Work and start with the following. Help me build my career evidence bank. Do not write my resume yet. If you found these tips helpful, please don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and share this with as many people as possible. Until we meet again in the next video. Peace.